Are we filming? Honestly, I'm trying to figure this thing out. My name is Jess. Last time I probably uploaded something to this channel, and by probably I mean for sure, because I've only done one of these, was me saying I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, and then nothing amounted to it. So we're back. Life looks a little bit different than when I filmed that last year. I live in a different state, in a different place. I'm in a very interesting apartment that will need to be a video in and of itself. I'm pregnant. I'm about to have a baby. If you're looking at the title of this video, it's like, duh. So just wanted to run through all my thoughts surrounding prepping for birth, doing a natural birth, doing a home birth, all of that. So this video is going to be about prepping my environment for my home birth. So I live in Tennessee. I'm outside of Johnson City area, and we're getting ready to have a home birth. I am 34 weeks and 5 days, although I just had a midwife appointment this morning, and I'm measuring at 37.5 weeks, and baby has dropped deep in the pelvis, so maybe they'll be here early. So I figured I might as well film this before I am no longer pregnant. Let's see if we can get a belly shot. 34.5. Big belly. That's the bump date. Okay, so wanted to start off with, why am I doing a natural birth? This is my hope. I am still pregnant. I have not had this child. I do not know what my birth story is going to be and what it will play out to be, but Lord willing, I will have this baby in this apartment. I'm not holding this ideal on a pedestal, nor am I looking for a trophy at the end of this or a high five from people who have done it similarly or done it differently. I know that a lot of times your birth story, the situation and circumstances are completely out of your control. You can have this perfect little plan written out, but I do think it is important and good to have a birth plan regardless. Just because you're gonna get to the hospital or whatever location you're having your baby in, and it can feel like you're on a freight train without the ability to make decisions if you're not going in prepared with your ideals and values. So that's what a lot of this is. These are my hopes for what this is gonna look like. And I don't think that I'm better than anyone else for choosing this path. And if this baby does come and I'm able to do it unmedicated, I don't expect a high five from any of you. It's just something that has always been a dream of mine to do. And it's kind of like a challenge for myself to physically and spiritually be able to do this, knowing that I will be fully reliant on the Lord for sustenance in this whole labor process. And I'm really looking forward to the reliance on Him. I feel like it's gonna be a really great spiritual connection that I haven't experienced before, and just complete dependence on Him to get me through minute by minute, hour by hour until this baby is born. So I'm really looking forward to a very introspective and prayerful time. And a lot of what I've done to prepare for this birth, now that we're getting close to the end, has been mental and spiritual, not just preparing my body, but a lot of what am I telling myself every day? What am I reading through? What am I praying through? And I'll get to that probably in another video when I talk about how I'm preparing my body. So how I'm prepping for a home birth. I live in a studio apartment above an old vacant restaurant, and I think it's like 800 square feet up here. The hopes are that we will get the birth tub up here. It's actually a cattle trough. It's great because it has like the sturdy walls for pressure, for if you want to put your feet up against it or lean up against it instead of the inflatable ones, which are also great, but it's what my midwife recommends. So that's what we're gonna go with. And there is no water access up here where we're gonna be. So we have to hope that the hose that we got will reach from the water inlet from the washer and dryer up here to where the tub's gonna be. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But my hope is to do a water birth, or to at least labor in the water. I know that water can be very soothing for pain relief. So that is the goal. There's a little open area on the floor that we hope to put the tub. But first I'm gonna show my birth kit that I ordered. All right, so this is where Sam and I sleep. And right under the bed, we have a drawer with all of my birth supplies, which is great for easy access. And I'm just gonna take you through all the items. I ordered all of this through a website called In His Hands, and my midwife had all of these items reserved on there specifically for a birth under her care. So starting off, we've got a heating pad for warmth if necessary, an extension cord, flashlight for emergency purposes if the power were to go out, 4 large size towels for either me or baby. I am gonna, like I said earlier, try to do a water birth or labor in the water, so towels are great for that, or receiving the baby after birth. Then we also have receiving blankets. There are 8 of them here. Most of them are the muslin material. I was just told to have 8. 8 washcloths. Baby hats, we have 4 of those. I've got an extra set of sheets, 2 of those. 2 trash bags, hydrogen peroxide, 2 shower curtain liners. These are used to make a bed or whatever area you're laboring in waterproof, just for more mess-free. These are postpartum undies. These are the Freedom Mom ones that are really widely popular. These are soak pads. I have 60 of them, or sanitary pads that we'll place around the apartment depending on where I labor and deliver. 30 of the medium size and 30 of the large size. Surgical sponges and latex gloves, a handful of both of those. These will both be for my midwife to use. And then we've got bulb syringe for baby after birth, gauze, surgical alcohol prep pads, iodine, and if I do tear, my midwife is equipped to give me stitches, so a lot of that is for this if necessary. And these are the umbilical cord clamps. There are 2 of those. And then vitamin K oral drops for baby after birth. And I think that is everything. This is about half, if not less than half, of what will actually be needed during labor and delivery. My midwife will come prepared with the rest of it. But in the meantime, it's right here ready to go for when the hour comes. And then hopefully this area that I'm standing in right now will be where the birth tub is, since it's a decent open floor space. We'll see what happens, but there's plenty of room to move around up here. I mean, it's not a mansion, but it'll do. If I don't like the tub, which can happen. Before I forget, these are sitting right here. These are gonna be labor tools for me. And you're probably wondering, are those combs? Is she crazy? Yeah, clearly, because she's doing a home birth in her apartment. But these are supposed to be amazing, like pain deflectors for during labor. So what I've seen women do is hold both in their hands and just like push against them. Like instead of squeezing your partner's hand, these are good to squeeze onto to just like channel that pain energy somewhere else and get your mind off of the intensity that's happening elsewhere. So those will be set aside ready for labor as well. Another item that we'll use during labor, tennis balls for counter pressure. Sam will use these on my back to just help relieve pressure. And during contractions, it's great to have constant pressure pressed on your hips or your back. And then in between contractions, better to have more of a massaging motion. But these are good counter pressure during actual contractions. So it'll just be a tool for Sam to use. The oils that I'm diffusing during labor, because I like the way they smell, not that they're necessarily going to do anything other than just have a relaxing environment for me, is lavender, frankincense, and a blend that I love from Young Living called Surrender. 4 drops of each in the diffuser. We'll have that going. And then I also have a labor roller blend. And this is going to be for helping get contractions either started or keeping them to progress during early labor. And that's because it has clary sage in it. So clary sage is like this magical oil that is awesome for contractions, gets them going and intensifies them. So it's good to rub on inner ankles, pinky toes, pinky fingers, but I went ahead and just put it in a roller blend so it's just easier. But this has 10 drops of clary sage, 10 drops of gentle baby, and then 5 drops of geranium. I also added 5 drops of Surrender since that's one of the oils I'm gonna be diffusing during labor. So we'll just rub that on my body. Lastly, for postpartum prep, since I'm gonna be just here, a lot of things you can get at the hospital. The hospital's great with providing a lot of this stuff. And since I'm gonna be delivering here and then doing my immediate postpartum here, I wanna make sure I'm prepped and ready to go. So I'm gonna do my Padsicles, which are just like pads that you put in the freezer that are prepped with aloe, essential oils, just to really help ease the healing down there. Okay, let's make some Padsicles. All right, first you're gonna need pads. So some of these are gonna be these ones that were hand-me-down, and then some of them are 7th generation organic pads. I was told that 25 is a good number to have. You're gonna need the pads, set those aside over here. You're going to need unscented, alcohol-free witch hazel. I just got the Thayer's brand. You're gonna need aloe vera gel. You can get this at like any health food store. I actually got it on Thrive Market. You're gonna need parchment paper slips. I cut these earlier. You're gonna need tape to tape them up when you're done. And then measuring utensils and oils. So the oils I'm gonna be using for this are lavender, frankincense, tea tree, helichrysum, and cypress. Okay, first things first, we're gonna do, and this should hopefully make like 25 of them. We'll find out. So first we're gonna need a half a cup of the witch hazel. So also it's good anytime you're doing anything with oils, it's good to do it only in glass, because if you're gonna do this in plastic, the oils will interact with the plastic and ruin, number one, the plastic container, but the plastic will also leach into whatever concoction you're making. So word to the wise. And then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of the aloe vera. This is also not a gel, I'm realizing, so. I was supposed to get gel. This is just pure aloe vera. And I think it will be just fine. 2 tablespoons of that, and then the rest are gonna be the oil. So we're gonna do 8 drops of frankincense. Lavender, 8 drops. Tea tree, 8 drops. Helichrysum is great for like bleeding, hemorrhage, healing. So we're gonna do 4 drops of this. And then cypress, we're gonna do 4 drops of that. I don't use cypress often, so I was excited to see that it would have some value here. So then we're just gonna stir that. Open up your pad. Like so. First, we're gonna squirt it with aloe vera gel. And by gel, I mean this aloe vera juice that I wrongfully got. So just a little drip drip. Then a teaspoon of the concoction all over. Fold it back up. Actually, no. Do I even know what I'm talking about? Should I be giving a tutorial? Parchment paper to soak it and not leak. Then we fold it back up. And tape. So that was my first rodeo on a Padsicle, and I'll probably try to speed the rest up, but I have a freezer bag ready, labeled postpartum Padsicles, and I will have these stacked and ready to go. The point is that you're freezing these. Probably should have said that, so they're cooling and nice on the old badge when you need it. So that's that. And now I'm gonna do like assembly line status. Speed up time. This is the mess that we're dealing with right now. So far I have, you know, a handful. I need more parchment paper, so I'm going downstairs to make some more. All right, so these are the things in my postpartum bin. It's gonna be right in front of the bathroom. First, we've got an herbal sitz bath. This is something you can put directly into the bath if you have a bathtub after birth, just to soothe and cool that area. I do not have a bathtub here, so I got this toilet cover that will go over the toilet, and I'll put the sitz bath directly in there and just sit over it and let it ruminate. I've got 2 of those, so this should give me a fair amount over the weeks following birth. I've got my healing care perineal spray. This is used as a soother that you just spray in your perineum area after birth. This one's from Thrive Market. And then I also have a homemade one that's left over from my sister. I've got Dermaplast, which is great for burning and itching, pain relieving, 2 of those. Tuck pads for hemorrhoids, I have 2 of those, just in case that were to happen. And this is a spray bottle as well for cleaning down there instead of wiping. And then Epsom salt. I don't have a bath here once again, but if I did, I would take Epsom salt baths. Arnica tablets that are kind of like pain relieving tablets that are just more natural. So these are just a few of the things that I'll use postpartum to help with healing and getting back to normal. And we're back. I finished all of them. I feel like I've made 100, but I should actually count them. So now I'm putting them all in this bag. I think I need a second one, which is not a bad problem. Okay, so we've got like, I don't know, 16 in here, which is awesome. Which is awesome! I'm sorry, that was really annoying. So I'll have to go downstairs and get the other one. And then this will go directly in the freezer. And they'll just get nice and cool. And I also wanted to show you guys scripture verses that I am going to use as my inspiration verses through labor. So I made these on the Bible app. Like I said, they're really easy. You can, a lot of times if it's a popular verse that other people have created images for, it'll already be pre-made, or you can select any text you want and make your own, and they have a lot of background images to choose from. This one, my main verse inspiration for labor is going to be Isaiah 43, 1-3. And there's a really pretty graphic already on the Bible app with Isaiah 43 too. So I'm probably gonna print this one out. Here's what it looks like. It's really pretty. And it is, the background text says, I will be with you. And the verse is, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. This is the one that I made. Just an image of water. And then my other verse that I love, and this is the graphic that I made to go with it. We'll see if I print these out or not. If not, I'll just write it on some like cardstock. Is Philippians 4, 11-13. This is one of my favorite verses. Has been for years. For I have learned in whatsoever state I am in, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased and how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Philippians 4, 11-13, which obviously the last verse is like the most iconic verse in the Bible. But I love the verses leading up to that, just about leaning on the Lord when you are in plenty and also in complete need. And I feel like that is a lot of what the circumstance will be for labor, of just being in complete dependence on Him, greatly needing sustenance hour by hour, minute by minute, like I said earlier, but also just knowing that He is providing. And I have a beautiful baby that I'm birthing, and I'm able to do this in my house, and the tension of holding both of those. Also, it's getting very hot in here, and I think it's because I turned that AC off about 30 minutes ago. So I need to crank that back up. But yeah, this was everything that I'm doing to prepare for labor, partly prepare for a home birth here. And I'm gonna do a whole nother video on how I'm preparing my body in pregnancy leading up to labor, whether that be exercise regimen, spiritually, and then also things I've been eating, not eating, drinking, not drinking, that kind of stuff, just to get body ready for baby and to have as healthy of a pregnancy as I possibly can. Thanks so much for tuning in, and hopefully this is not going to be the first and last time you see my face.